I will call the May 10th, 2022 meeting of the Christiansburg Town Council to order. And as we always do, we will take a few moments of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. If you would join me for the pledge, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Joanna Hicks to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, we will move on to public hearings, and tonight is the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. If you are here to address the budget, if you'll come to the to the podium, your name and address, and this is the only time tonight that we will talk about the budget. It will not be heard in public hearing, in public comments, or anything along the line. This is your chance to address the budget issues or concerns. Is there anyone here that would like to address council? Yes, ma'am. Name and address. And
I'm Mary Ellen Campagna. I live at 1180A Brown Street, Christiansburg. I'm speaking on behalf of my son Benjamin Moore, who lives on Republic Road in Christiansburg Bluff Apartments. You have some of the best housing for the poor in the country, but you have some of the worst transportation I've seen anywhere. And we don't know why. That's why I'm here tonight. If you're talking about budget, I'm talking about money here. Let me just tell you what the evidence is of problems in the transportation system here in Christiansburg. The bus service was reduced from a bus every hour to a bus every 2 hours. This action occurred on March 14th, and that has not changed. So what resulted were two routes, the Gold and the Blue Explorer routes, covered only by one bus. This caused major delays and inconveniences for the disabled, the elderly, my son who has MS, the elderly, the indigent, people who need reliable and reasonably timed transportation to doctor's appointments, jobs, for shopping needs, therapies, banking, and a host of other needed destinations. Deviations on these routes also cause significant delays. This is a new policy with BT. These are stops that are not on the normally planned routes, which take the bus out of the way. Some buses do not have air conditioning. This has been hot on a lot of days. A number of buses are in disrepair. Blacksburg Transit has offered differing opinions on why buses are in disrepair and have no air, but the primary reason seems to be lack of workers who can do maintenance. I would assume that this goes back to the same reason that BT complains of lack of bus drivers: insufficient pay. The Go Anywhere bus is not convenient for many riders who need day of services that were not necessarily planned for, because this service often must be booked at least 3 days to 2 weeks ahead to get a seat. Even then, this bus is often late or early. This makes it hard to ride in inclement weather, and there are other inconveniences. In winter, most of the bus stops are not cleared of snow, ice, and debris for several days to weeks. This makes transportation, public transportation, virtually impossible for the disabled, like my son. Associated questions are Why are COVID relief funds not being used to ramp up our bus transport system in Christiansburg? I would assume that our town did receive some of those funds. If not, I'd like to be informed. The other question is, news sources recently, just this past week, say that Blacksburg is to receive millions in grants for transportation. Could some of these grants be of use to us? Now, when I talked to Ms. Mills this afternoon, she is head of transport for Christiansburg. She felt very strongly that the reason for these problems was that BT, Blacksburg Transit, was not receiving enough funds from Christiansburg. And she said so, I quote. When I talked to customer service, Ms. Kim, she had a different opinion. She said that we just haven't been able to hire enough help. We can't keep buses on the road. They're always in disrepair. Something's always wrong. We don't have enough drivers. So I don't know. I'm speaking out of concern and not complaint here, because you all have always, as I told Ms. Mills, you have always heard me as a citizen. I've been heard here at this podium, and I appreciate that. I've been seen here. I don't know what the answer is, but I know this is getting to be a problem for the people at Christiansburg Bluff and surrounding neighborhoods. Over half of our citizens rely on our buses. Out of 21,000 plus people here in Christiansburg, over half rely on the buses, at least at some times during the week. So I need your help with this when you're talking about money and proposed budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tracy, did you get her name? And okay, very good. Anyone else to address the budget? Hearing no more, I'll close this public hearing, and we will move on in the agenda to our consent agenda, which is the approval of April 26, 2022 minutes and a scheduled public hearing on May 24th, 2022 for the Town of Christiansburg 22 to 26 Community Development Block Grant Consideration Plan and 2022 Annual Action Plan.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Good.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussions or comments? Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Councilman Bishop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hockett.
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
All right. That carries with unanimous vote. Introductions and presentations. We have Goodwill Industries of the Valley's Chief Operating Officer, Mindy Boyd, to present on Goodwill programs and operations. Ms. Boyd, nice to have you with us.
Thank you. I just want to ask to move the clicker to move the advance the font.
Is her microphone on? I can't hear. Is that mic on?
I don't know. Andrew, would you check to make sure the microphone at the podium is on?
It shows green light.
It appears to be on.
Okay.
So I have presented this in the past, but usually I'd present and someone else is advancing. So with two jobs in one, hopefully I can keep up. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thank you for allowing me to present to you this evening. My name is Mindy Boyd, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. Today, I'm excited to tell you a little bit about how we've embarked on a reimagined future and provide an overview of our new strategic plan, Inspire 2026. But before we talk about where we're headed, we need to talk a little bit about where we've been. In 2021, Goodwill Industries of the Valley celebrated our 90th anniversary, 90 years of serving communities, families, and individuals. Here in Christiansburg, our retail store and donation center has been operating since the late 1990s and is still thriving today. But oh, how the last few years have been during a pandemic. We learned how to deliver services in a hybrid model, and for several programs, we've continued to offer that virtual option. The benefits of proven relationships. Throughout the past 2 years, we truly reaped the benefits of community partners and partnerships. Like so many others, we learned to work in a hybrid model. And we also learned the benefits of having an agile workforce. Whether they were keen or reluctant, our team members proved to be so connected to our mission, they never missed a beat. And that's key. The fact our team members never missed a beat. So much so, it turned out to be a very productive year last year. Last year, we served over 38,000 individuals throughout our various training programs and foundational services in a 35-county footprint. Over 2,900 credentials were earned by individuals, and we placed over 650 people into competitive employment. In 2021, we made a concerted effort to get back out into the communities, deepen connections throughout our service area, all in an effort to inform and inspire. We participated in 14 events in our service area, along with attending many chamber events. In March of last year, we welcomed our new CEO, Richmond Vincent. Richmond is well established within the Goodwill movement, and prior to joining us, he was the CEO of Goodwill of South Mississippi, headquartered in Gulfport. He had previously served as a member of the executive team at the Goodwill of Central and Northern Arizona and Phoenix for more than 6 years. During this leadership transition, we felt it was important to focus on the future by looking at our history. At the 90-year mark, we decided to go back to our roots and re-examine the why behind what we do. Our founder, Edgar J. Helms, began Goodwill with the vision of not charity but a chance. He believed in giving people the opportunity to work as a path to both financial and personal independence. Such independence was key to combating poverty by providing a hand up and not a handout. Using our rich history as a cornerstone, we then began to explore a series of questions. How can Goodwill Industries of the Valleys make a difference in the next 90 years, and what role will we play in the future? How can we make even greater impact on communities, families, and individuals? So to answer those questions, we embarked upon a rigorous planning period spanning more than 6 months, and it resulted in the robust 5-year strategic plan before you. In August, the results of internal and external surveys were reviewed by the executive team, board members, and community partners throughout our territory. Those present provided feedback on our new vision, mission, and purpose statements, and we began to draft high-level strategic goals. The vision statement stakeholders were inspired by the most was the very same vision that our founder, Edgar J. Helms, was inspired by when he started the first Goodwill in Boston in 1902. To eliminate poverty. Yes, in defining our why, we went right back to our roots. And while we know we can't accomplish this single-handedly, nor necessarily in our lifetime, we believe our work, our efforts should all be directed towards decreasing poverty among those we serve and employ. Supporting this vision and revamped mission statement conveys 3 powerful statements: empowering individuals, strengthening families, and inspiring communities. Our vision to eliminate poverty is supported by data within our territory. Over 215,000 individuals in the Goodwill Industries of the Valley service area live in poverty. Specific populations such as minorities, Hispanic Latino families, working individuals with a disability, and single mothers are also experiencing very high poverty rates. Several counties and cities in our service area have poverty rates above 20%, and our very own employees live and work in these areas. Clearly, poverty is a pervasive issue throughout our footprint and one we are compelled to address. Our team members also weighed in on initial surveys and provided input. In fact, they provided a lot of input. Apologize. They indicated to us that they valued a company that's committed to community engagement, excellence, diversity, and learning, while also providing a rich opportunity for growth. These traits also arose in our external survey results, and as we began to define strategic priorities over the next few months, we knew we had to ensure the internal and external shifts were aligned. So let's take a look at the plan. Our vision to eliminate poverty in Virginia is what fuels us. And as you will see, all 4 strategic goals align our resources to meet community needs. They focus on the areas of operational strengthening, people strengthening, greater community impact, and improved community collaborations. Recognizing we can not only address higher level needs when basic ones are fulfilled, we decided that investment in operations is key. The 3 primary objectives in this goal include strengthening our infrastructure, strengthening internal processes, and developing a self-funding model to sustain mission impact. For this goal, as with each of the others, we identified key performance indicators or measurements for success. One such infrastructure goal is to upgrade our technology. Also, the goal to become more self-funded allows us to make better, more customized service decisions for the residents of our expansive territory. These measures, as well as the full plan, are available on our website. Goal 2 states that we will focus on a team-centered model. At the heart of our new strategic plan are our team members. They are the very individuals we aim to empower, part of the families we aim to strengthen, and members of the communities we want to inspire. We recognize the need to improve the financial health and stability of our own team members, particularly those in our stores and in our business services areas. We will also work to provide better benefits at a lower cost, invest in the development of our team members, and provide success coaches and support to help them overcome obstacles and advance inside or outside of Goodwill. And finally, we are taking steps to move all team members to a living wage or greater. So while the first 2 goals are internally focused, the last 2 are external. Whoops. Data tells us that individuals thrive when the entire family thrives. Goodwill is implementing a multi-generational service delivery model to help everyone from expectant mothers to older workers. This does not mean we will deliver every service, but we will concern ourselves with everyone within a family system so we can connect them with the resources necessary for each person's success. Our Goodwill Business Services Division also provides job training and employment opportunities. Goodwill Business Services is the business-to-business segment of Goodwill, providing outsourcing options for local manufacturing and light industrial business, a key component of the New River Valley. Through this business arm, we can train and match individuals, many with barriers to employment, with jobs where they will find success and have an opportunity to train for higher skilled positions right here in the New River Valley. This approach is good for economic development and for those we serve. Local to the New River Valley, we're serving adults in programs such as Good Care, our training program for nursing, ranging from CNA certificates all the way to registered nurse. Also, the Senior Community Service Employment Program provides jobs and training for adults 55 and up. Through Career Development Services, we deliver WIOA Adult and Youth and the Summer Youth Employment Program in Giles County. All of these programs are ripe with potential for expansion. And finally, as we mentioned, we will also work to make sure our own team members have economic security as well. Currently, Goodwill team members in entry-level positions such as retail, production, and custodial start off more than 18% above minimum wage in the state of Virginia. And we plan to maintain that trend to ensure that our own employees can earn a sustainable living and progressive wage. And now to our last goal. A consistent theme in the feedback we received from stakeholders was the need for us to deepen our engagement in the areas we serve. The desire for Goodwill to develop strategic relationships and build resource capacity. Most importantly, to listen and gather information on emerging needs, interests, and priorities of community members, as well as business and community leaders throughout our territory. Going forward, we will actively seek opportunities to collaborate with stakeholders who are aligned with our vision, and we will be intentional in those communities that we need a convener in order to deliver coordinated services. Our objective is to lead that coordinated service delivery model in at least one community of need in the next 5 years. All of which takes us back full circle to our vision, eliminating and certainly reducing the poverty rate in our service delivery area. To tie it all together, what does our new plan mean for the communities we serve? It means collaboration, deeply engaging with communities and addressing issues that impact poverty. It means leveraging resources and expanding opportunities for our team members and those we serve. To end, the overarching theme is delivering the right resources to fill the service gaps and increase opportunity access for all. But I would be remiss if I didn't also mention that we were in the final stages of purchasing the property where our current Christiansburg Goodwill store is located. We are so excited not only to be a long-term retail resident of the town, but now a property owner in the area now under massive revitalization. So that's the plan, but before we end, we decided our fresh approach and renewed focus needed to be visible, and it was time for a facelift. If you haven't already, we invite you to log on to our new website where you'll see all this information and more. Our new way forward needed a fresh look, which is reflected in the image on the website and encourage in current advertising. You will also begin to see these beautiful images shown here of our very own employees, shoppers, and supporters in our stores and training centers as well. Thank you all for your participation and input. We look forward to partnering with you over the months and years to come. We are inspired by all the opportunities to make a difference in the communities we serve, and we certainly hope you are too. I appreciate your time and attention, and I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you so much for coming today, and
Thank you.
I really enjoyed the video. The last part was probably my favorite. I was going to ask you something. I don't know that I heard you correctly, but you were talking about how you were doing something with CNAs and trying to do LPNs and
Correct.
things like that. Is that through sponsorships, scholarships, training within the company, or you guys send people to college for that? How does that work, really?
So the Good Care program is one that started through a federal grant, and that's not my department, but I want to say it was 2 to 3 years ago. It began as a federal grant that was awarded to multiple Goodwills, but ours in particular. It's one that has been extremely successful, and like most grants, they do have a sunset. Goodwill Industries of the Valley's made the decision that the need for healthcare workers in this market is so great that we've decided to self-fund that. And so if you have someone who's interested in training, either CNA all the way through RN, they come and apply for the program. And when they're accepted into the program, then it is all at no cost to them. So they would attend classes and see all the way through. They could start with CNA, go to work, and then they continue on with classes as they build up through LPN and RN. That's all self-funded through Goodwill now.
So do they have to have the degree already, or can you guys will help them get the degrees?
Correct. So even somebody who's running a register in a store, our store, or anyone who is unemployed and interested in job training can apply for the program. You can go right to our website and they can learn where to apply. And also we have a learning academy here just beyond the Christiansburg store. It's in where you donate. Just very next door to that is the Goodwill Learning Academy, and the Good Care for this locality, the Good Care classes are held through there.
What are some of the things that you're doing besides that? That sounds like an awesome program through your, the Goodwill industry. What are other things how are you able to recruit? I guess that's what you're doing. You're recruiting people by teaching them a skill and a trade. Is that correct?
So there's many different avenues. If you want to work at Goodwill, there's a lot of different things you can do. If you want to work in the retail side, so, the Good Care program or other programs are funded through the store operations. So you see all these retail stores, and the money that we generate from those stores helps to fund programs like Good Care. So If you want to work at Goodwill, you can go on the website and apply. If you're interested in retail, the business services segment that I mentioned, we have a large work center in Radford. That is actually part of what used to be the New River Valley workshop for those of us who've been around for a long time. That facility has grown probably twice in its size, and there we're doing light manufacturing, assembly. We're also doing specialty wood with the CNC machine. Our aspiration there is to grow our job training specific to the CNC, as there are a lot of industries and companies in this market that utilize CNC and need trained machinists. So we're looking at expanding that and also giving people an opportunity to find work outside of Goodwill for higher paying jobs.
Your nursing programs, are they, I'm not sure that I fully got it now, are they accredited through either New York Community College or Radford University, or, I mean, I don't think it could just come through your center and become an RN?
They are all partnered with the local colleges,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
That's really fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear about that, because that's really, you know, a need in the community, obviously. And then if you guys are doing that, it's interesting just to hear from you, just talking today, that you're not just promoting someone to come to work for you guys, but you're also teaching them something so they can go and be, you know, maybe better, you know, for their families
Right.
to make a larger income.
We've been experts at sharing with the community what the stores are. Donate clothes, come and shop, value. It's always been the greatest mystery for Goodwill is what happens to that. Most people say, well, I know something good happens with it. You know, the money goes somewhere good. But we're being very deliberate now about what that means. And with the vision of elimination of poverty, you know, we don't expect to eliminate poverty, but we expect to move the needle on it by helping people. If they want to job train in retail and come up through retail staff, we have a lot of opportunity in-house to train and promote up. I'm actually a product of that. I am someone who does not hold a college degree. I started as a part-time processor in the Christiansburg store, and I, after almost 18 years, hold chief operating officer. We promote learning, we promote certificates, degrees, we promote learning within, experiential. We just want people to find success. We want people to find that they are at or above a living wage, and they can do that with support and job training.
It's really cool that you're coming right before our human resource lady trying to get us information about how we need to hire more people, I'm sure.
Right.
But I love to recruit some people, I'm sure she will.
Sure.
But thank you so much for that. Let me ask you something else about Goodwill, because this has been a personal question that I have been wanting
Sure.
to ask you guys or whatever. You guys give second chances, right? As far as like you guys are, is that something that you guys are known for, right? Is that how the program works or something like that? Community
Right.
service or something like
We
that? Is
have,
that correct?
we love naming our programs with the first word of good, so that's called Good Start. Good care, good start, you know, so it makes it easy to remember. It's a reentry program for people with barrier offenses who have a hard time becoming employed and getting back on their feet after being released from incarceration. And so those individuals work with specific program job coaches and case managers to, first of all, what they need to do is they need to secure some housing. Usually they need clothes and they need a source of food pretty quickly when they come out of incarceration. The goal also is to get them employed relatively quickly. So we do that through our retail stores, through our production lines, but also with community partners. So certainly different people out in the community welcome individuals into their employ to earn a paycheck so they can get back on their feet. Many of these people are coming from different localities, so they have less of a chance to reoffend if they go back into the community in which they committed the crime. So we work very hard to intensely serve them in the first 30 days and then hope to work them towards independence.
Awesome.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, we have Alicia Dials, who is our Human Resource Director, to present on Department Work Program and Operations.
I realized I was like being a back end to you, like on an airplane.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and council members. So I am Alicia Dials. I am the Director of Human Resources, and I am going to give you a little bit of information about the department. So we are a 3-member HR team. There is myself, Brianna English, and Danette Poole. Brianna and Danette are both HR generalists. Brianna focuses primarily on recruitment and part-time employees, and Danette's primary focus is on benefits and full-time employees. So HR, what is HR? So the HR department, a common misconception is that HR only fires people. That's not true. It's false. The HR department is in charge of performance management, recruiting, job analysis, compensation, benefits, orientation, employee relations, training and development, compliance, and so much more. So in many cases, HR works behind the scenes, and we are the glue that kind of holds the workforce together during workforce crises. And the big example is COVID-19. With COVID-19, HR was responsible for developing the policies and the procedures. We coordinated testing and we coordinated the vaccination clinics. We tracked positive cases and the exposures. We reported the required information to Virginia Department of Health. We reported it to the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry, sorry. We provided the mental health resources for employees and supervisors, and we worked closely with departments regarding staffing issues and getting employees to return back to work. So HR's mission is to serve the departments and the employees who serve our citizens. In collaboration with the town departments, we strive to develop and administer programs and benefits to attract, grow, and maintain an efficient and productive workforce, because we all believe that our employees are our greatest resources. So recruitment has been a big issue within the last couple of years. It has been very challenging, but we have been very strategic in how we go about spending our advertising dollars. We don't want to throw our money into like print advertising and some of these other sources when we don't see that return on investment. We have advertised in print a few times in the Roanoke Times. We have done some radio advertisements within the New River Valley listening area. So we put some ads on 105.3 The Bear and 107 Country PSK. We advertise in specialty online websites. Most of our advertising does go on the online sources. So the American Water Works Association, the American Public Works Association. We advertise through Virginia Municipal League. We do a lot of advertising through Indeed. We work closely with our public relations department to get advertisements on LinkedIn and Facebook. We have done job fairs. We have done several of the virtual job fairs. They have not been very productive. We've done the first Christiansburg drive-through job fair, which we were disappointed in. And we've had the in-person job fairs. We had 2 of them during April. The first one was for New River Community College. We had some students that were kind of forced to go through the job fair and get the signatures from the employers. And the most recent job fair was on April the 20th at the Recreation Center. That one we were all excited about because we were told that employers were being turned away from the site. We had 59 employers participate in that job fair, and we had 50 attendees, job seekers, come in. So we were very excited about the employer turnout, but very disappointed in the job seeker turnout. But what we have learned through all of these job fairs, virtual, in person, is that job seekers want a simplified process. So again, we have worked with the Public Relations Department, and we have created a QR code, fast and easy. Job seekers can put their phone up to the QR code and they can go directly to our website. So they don't have to worry about typing in any type of a website. We have also created wallet cards. We found out during some of the job fairs that job seekers don't want to carry around job flyers. So we've created a wallet card, and I've got some with me today. They're very easy to hand out. We have the career fields on the front side with a QR code that goes directly to our job site. On the back side of that wallet card, we have our benefits package for full-time employees and a QR code that goes directly to our benefits website. So benefits for full-time employees. Full-time employees, we have 13 paid holidays each year. We have 18 days of paid time off. We have 2 different medical plans that full-time employees can choose from, the high deductible health plan or the traditional PPO plan. We have a health savings account that we offer in conjunction with the high deductible health plan. We offer dental insurance, group life insurance, optional whole and term life insurance. We have optional accident, cancer, critical illness, disability, and hospital indemnity insurance. We offer participation, or we require participation in the Virginia retirement system, and then offer participation in the town's 457 supplemental retirement plan. Full-time employees have access to the employee assistance program, and full-time employees have membership to the recreation and aquatic centers, plus 2 free classes at each facility every year. For our part-time employees, we offer flexible scheduling, access to the employee assistance program, and we now have a starting wage of $15 per hour for all of our positions. So benefits administration, we work very hard to maintain affordable health care for our employees, and we have been able to keep the health premiums pretty stable for the last 3 years. We do this largely by educating our employees to be smart health shoppers, to look around for price conscious, look around for the best health options available, and to use the urgent care center rather than using the emergency room for non-emergency situations. During open enrollment this year, we have coordinated benefit counselors to come on site. So that was last week, sorry. Our open enrollment began last Monday and it continues through this Friday. So we were able to get benefit counselors in here to meet with all of our employees. These benefit counselors were able to sit down and talk one-on-one with the employees and educate them about the benefits so that they know what they were doing and they could make an informed choice. We have been able to get retirement planning sessions on site, get representatives from VRS to come on site to talk to employees about retirement counseling, financial counseling, where to put the money in, and how to save for retirement. And we plan to have many more of those sessions. We work as a liaison with workers' compensation. We provide assistance to employees and supervisors regarding workers' compensation, family medical leave, and short and long-term disability. We have worked with the Public Works Department to implement a formal return to work program so that we can provide light duty assignments to those employees who are injured under workers' comp or short-term disability, so we can return them back to work quicker. And we've coordinated some external partnerships in order to provide additional wellness initiatives for the employees. So one example is the iSip Smarter campaign through UVA. I'm not sure if you all have heard of that, but it's a wellness program offered through UVA to encourage participants to drink fewer sugary drinks. And we plan to offer some more wellness initiatives to our employees. So in 2021, the end of 2021, so it was around September, we had an employee benefits and wellness fair to show our employees what the benefits are. They had information sessions available, and we provided wellness services. We had providers from Virginia Retirement System, from Delta Dental, from Corellian Employee Assistance Program come in. We provided wellness services such as bone density and PSA screenings. We had River Ridge Dermatology provide skin cancer screenings for our employees. Rapid University, I partnered with them to bring them on site so they could do blood pressure and glucose screenings to help us out to do the screenings for the employees and to help out the Rapid University students. We had Crystal's Healing Hands Massage come in to do chair massages, and that was very popular. And then we had Christiansburg Pharmacy come in to do COVID vaccines and flu vaccines. We also had information tables set up for workers' comp and job safety. We had a Virginia 529 college savings plan. We invited the New River Valley Community Services to come in and set up information about mental health. Community Housing Partners came in and provided information to the employees, and Rome Bike Rentals, they provided information about the bike rental program. Another fun event is the employee picnic. So every year we celebrate our employees with an employee picnic. The past employee picnics have been held at Harkrader Sports Complex, Kiwanis Fields, and the Aquatic Center. And we consider to look at other, rotating the employee picnic through other various town facilities. So public relations has always taken the lead in coordinating the employee picnic. And this year, Human Resources is teaming up with public relations to see if we can make some changes and encourage greater participation. Our focus is going to be on offering fun events, focusing more on the employees and incorporating employee recognition and building relationships between the departments. So one of the biggest pain points in Human Resources is the number of systems and the lack of interfacing from one system to the next. So these are the systems that we currently have in Human Resources. GP is the Great Plains. This is the payroll system. It was set up for payroll and not Human Resources. We have Civic HR, which is the applicant tracking system. Time Clock Plus is the timesheet system. Safe Personnel is the training software. Ben Select is the newest system. This is the benefits enrollment system so that we don't have to key into the different providers like Anthem, Delta Dental, the Principal Life Insurance. Virginia Navigator is the VRS system. Virginia New Hires is the Virginia New Hire reporting system. And then J.J. Keller Safety Management Suite is our employee accident tracking system. So in addition to these systems, we also do OSHA reporting, the EEO reporting, and we have lots and lots of spreadsheets that we maintain. Lots of spreadsheets. So to give you an idea of all of the keying, for a new full-time employee, HR keys into 6 screens in Great Plains. And then we enter the same information into 7 different systems because nothing feeds over from system to system. For pay changes, we key into 3 screens in GP, and then we enter 3 to 4 deductions and benefit codes per employee. So the last pay changes that we just did, that was a lot of work. That's a lot of manual keying. And with that much manual keying, when you're looking at a spreadsheet and you're keying from a spreadsheet, there's room for human error because we're all humans. We're all going to make a mistake, especially if you're looking at a spreadsheet. So with mass changes like that, we split up the keying, and then we have someone double check, and then we have payroll triple check just to make sure that no one messes up anyone's salary. Needless to say, HR is very excited to implement the HR modules of the Tyler Munis system, the new software we've got. So some current and upcoming projects that HR has is the Tyler Munis system. This month, the implementation began for HR. It goes from this month through June of 2023. If I have my way, we can shorten it up a little bit. But it's supposed to be, it's an anticipated go-live date of July 1st of 2023. The Tyler Munis system, it has a lot of HR modules, so it's going to eliminate a lot of the systems that we currently have. Tyler Munis has an applicant tracking system, performance management, timekeeping, leave reporting, position management, benefits enrollment, and more. So we can eliminate a lot of the spreadsheets, we can eliminate a lot of the systems. We are also updating job descriptions, all of the job descriptions throughout the town. We are updating for relevancy and to assist with return to work programs. We're including the physical demands in those job descriptions. We're developing consistent policies and procedures throughout the town. Right now, we have some departments that have some procedures that are not consistent with other departments, so we want to make a fair approach. An example is tuition reimbursement and tuition or training agreements procedures. So one of the high points right now is the workforce planning. We are working on workforce planning and developing succession plans. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but we have 22 employees that are eligible to retire by the end of next year. This is based on 22 employees that are eligible to retire. And this is based on the VRS report of employees eligible for an unreduced retirement benefit. So we do not have a report of employees that are eligible for a reduced benefit, okay? So we'll be working with the departments to set up a succession plan for those. Records management, we'll be working with the IT department to research options for records management, for software for that. because we're running out of physical space. We've got filing cabinets, and historically, HR has been very paper-based. We have paper everything, and we're trying to move more into an electronic records management system. And then we're working with public relations. As you can tell, we work a lot with public relations. So we're working with public relations to develop a virtual Town 101. I have been told that before I came, the town did a quarterly Town 101 with employees, which was a tour for the new employees. They would be toured around. It generally take about 1.5 days, and they would get to see all of the town facilities. So an idea for a virtual tour was brought up, and that would be in conjunction with the physical tour. Public relations took that idea and they just kind of ran with it, and they're turning it into a reality. So they have provided a brief preview of the video, and what public relations has done is created a video so that we can use this for both the public and for our town employees. Here's the preview of the video.
You see that we have built in my 14-year tenure here that is based on integrity and character. Everything we do is to meet that standard. And that goes from the day we hire folks, the day we train them, until the day they retire. We have built a solid culture in this community, through this organization, and we're going to continue to do that.
Planning commissioners are recommended by its members are appointed by the town council, and its purpose is to conduct public hearings and to investigate issues of the planning nation. So they hear requests to, say, rezone a property or for a conditional use permit and conduct the public hearings there, which is an opportunity for citizens to have their input. Another good one, the town of Christiansburg. Depending on the size of the storm and what's forecasted, we have different levels of response. If it's something that's going to blow through here, we might only stage or monitor the routes throughout the night and make sure everything's passable for the citizens. We go into a major event, we go into 12-hour shifts, and that pulls all 103 employees in.
We're also in charge of logistics if we have a disaster within the town, that we set up the shelters, that we organize the shelters, we organize the people who operate the shelters and the collection sites and agencies throughout the town if we ever have something like that.
So as a new employee with the town of Christiansburg, welcome aboard. This is a wonderful place to work, and not only that, you're serving our citizens, which is the best part of this job. And you have free access to the Christiansburg Aquatic Center. Just check in with us at the front desk, and we'll get you all set up with your department head, and welcome you to come and enjoy our amenities.
I think she did a great job on that. So in human resources, we refer to ourselves as the unofficial lawyer, psychologist, event planner, teacher, peacemaker, career planner, and detective for the town. Any questions?
Yeah, I have. Go ahead. So when you, in terms of recruiting, when you changed the format and form there a bit, you talked about QR codes and the pocket cards. Have you seen any traction as far as increase in applications since you guys made that change?
We have, this is terrible, but we've seen, I'm excited because we now have about 20 applicants per week, which 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said that was really low, but now I'm excited because we have 20 applicants per week.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
I am really grateful that you guys were able to have those cards and put the benefits online that we provide for the town. I know Valerie's here, and I would really, really like to find out what will the cost be for us to be able to provide the no charge to for the individual that works for the town for the health insurance. I know that there is a payment that you pay, which is very minimal. I think that is, what's the amount monthly is, or is it like bi-weekly? Yeah, full-time employees.
It depends on the plan. If they're in the high deductible plan, it's $29
I think so. I don't have that information.
Anthem PPO plan. Depends on whether you're an individual or a family, but the employee only, I think, is that, not one says employees, but I don't remember.
So it's 17, is it 17 for the high deductible health plan and 61 for the PPO plan?
I would really like to find out what the cost will be to the town if we were to provide that. So it can be a benefit to our employees. And we can say, you can go to our hand and say, we do offer free health insurance if you come and work for the town. I know Vida and other companies do provide full coverage for no charge. And I think, what is the cost that we're paying for us providing the majority of the payment for the health insurance? I know it's large.
It's over 1,000 per employee.
For employee, is that monthly or per year?
Family plan or whatever off the top of my head, I don't know.
What it is about,
Grew up in Enrollment.
yes, it's about 2.2 million is what we're paying right now for the health insurance. And that is with the employees providing a portion of it.
If we were to provide a portion, I wonder how much that will, can you give me that number for next time?
About 350,000. That's it, please.
I wondered if that will make actually an impact or a difference for someone trying to, come to work for the town. Do you foresee
I think that
maybe
$17 a month for health insurance, I think that is a great rate, personally. I think
Oh,
that
it's
would be hard to go
fantastic.
out and find insurance, a
Oh, no,
monthly
I know
rate.
it from the private sector. I know it's over $1,000 just for us, per person. And so that's obviously a great benefit, but is there a way, because I know when I see the benefit packages, we say that, there is options there for health insurance, but we're not telling them how much that real cost is to them.
But if they go onto that QR code, they can go directly to the benefits website
And it
and
will
they can
actually
find the
tell you
rates.
that that's the amount?
Mhm.
Okay.
Very good.
And then I have another question. Does the town provide any, I know that you do provide some classes for like the aquatic center and things like that for employees. Do we provide any credits as far as like if someone wants to go to college, to have like the ability to take 6 credits a year or per semester or maybe 3? Do we have
So we
something
do
like
have
that?
we do have a tuition reimbursement program. It does have to be budgeted because it does come from the department's budget. And that's what I'm trying to create right now so that we have it's not going to be based on credits, it's going to be based on a dollar amount. So that we can limit it per employee per year.
Another thing, I like the video a lot, and good job to public relations for coming out with that too. I would love to see the names and the titles of the people. Obviously, I know who they are, but like Marcy's and Chief of Police, or
For the retirees?
No. For the video that you guys made,
okay.
the video one-on-one, because I know that I don't know. For me, it would be nice to see. I was looking to see for the names.
Yes, and this is just a teaser. I begged Christina to give me something so that I can show what we were trying to do. So she
Okay.
put it together very quickly.
All right.
Yes.
Well, you girls are doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Ms. Dial, just from somebody in the industry, can you fill us in on what's the hurdle? What's the hiccup? Why are there so many gaps? Why aren't people applying for jobs? Because employers, especially on the municipal and government side, are throwing money out there. So what's the industry saying?
The industry does not know. We thought it was COVID. We thought it was the additional money the government was given to employee or to people.
Which is that's the typical
And when that
answer I get.
stopped, we don't know. There are a lot of people that started working from home and realized they could either continue to work from home or make it on a 1-person income rather than a 2-person income. I know childcare has gotten very expensive, so that could be another obstacle.
That's definitely another one. And I think the school systems, there is so many changes in the schools and everything else that I think even with bullying and is not necessarily all the school system itself, it's also children, and it's just we come out of a very, very strange time in our lives where I know a lot of my friends stopped going to work and they're staying home and doing homeschooling, so, because of many of the reasons. Do you finish your?
No, I was just going to ask her if there's a prediction that's out there. Do they anticipate, once everybody figures out that
So
we can't keep up with the Joneses, or our retirements are starting to suffer and kids are getting ready to go to college, and so, I mean, what's the prediction coming down the road that
So
the
what-
industry's saying?
So what I am reading and what I'm seeing is that after the summer, but I don't know what is going to happen with inflation. You know,
Right.
the gas prices are starting to rise again. If you can work from home, or even if you can make it on a one-person income, that may be cheaper for some people than trying to get a job and start traveling again. So we really don't know.
You only live
Yeah.
once, right?
Yeah.
I have one question. I know that Randy was talking about that we're gonna be providing $1,000 signing up bonus for, after 30 days of employment for certified police officers. And I know, and I'm all for it. I think it's a great thing. But I'm looking forward to see something like this. Like, I think the signing up bonuses really work. And is there something that we can do kind of the same thing for Public Works?
So we are talking about that right now. We have not made a decision yet,
Okay.
but we are talking about
Okay,
signing on
because I
bonus.
really like to see that, because I know we're only in the need of 2 police officers as of right now, right? 3. And then we have Public Works is over 25, isn't it?
We also have a lot of potential retirements coming up in the police department.
Okay.
But just to piggyback on that, I mean, and Mike, you worked in the banking industry, and but those programs like that, those guaranteed funds for referrals and things like that, I know when I worked for a bank 10 years ago, we did it, and it was pretty successful. So across the board, just not for 1 or 2 departments, or even referrals, as long as they stay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
Anything
I like
else?
the
Tim?
referral thing.
Casey?
Good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Alicia. Next, we have our citizens' comments. Section is open if you would like to comment on items within the town. If you would like to address council, you make your comments to me, your name and address, and limit to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to speak to council? Yes, ma'am.
And by the way, I'm so apologetic. I'm usually more gracious than that. I had addressed my comments to Town Manager Mr. Wingfield, Assistant Town Manager Mr. Warren, and Mayor Barber, and Town Council. I do expect an answer tonight about where the responsibility lies for an inadequate bus system in this town. And when I was listening to the young lady from Goodwill, which we use a lot and love and admire, a lot of these young people trying to work for Goodwill, and older people, by the way, no discrimination there, don't have appropriate transportation. So some of them who could be working for you aren't because of that. Mr. Wingfield asked, why aren't people going to work now? Why aren't people going to Blacksburg and Christiansburg? Well, it could be because they don't have adequate transportation. The cost of gas, the cost of upkeep for our cars is more and more expensive. Inflation is here. So we're going to be relying more and more on our public transport system, which is inadequate in this town. So my question to you is, why and what are we going to do about it, and where does the responsibility lie? Is it Blacksburg Transit? Is this a Blacksburg thing? Or are we responsible for what we do with our money in terms of transportation? I understand that Blacksburg Transit gets a regular amount of money each year, which probably has been sufficient in the past, perhaps. Could we ask ourselves, is that still sufficient? Because what I'm telling you is I don't think it is. And I'm willing to go from door to door all over these wonderful housing units. We have government housing units, and ask people how they feel and would they be willing to address you on this issue. Because I do represent more people than just my son Benjamin. I promise you that. So I'd like an answer. I'd like some discussion tonight. I have a right to ask you that question and have somebody tell me what their opinion is about this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wingfield, I assume we will address this with Blacksburg Transit and the needs and the operations to give you an answer tonight, other than to tell you we will work with Blacksburg Transit to see what we can come up with. That's the best I can do on short notice.
All right, thank you. I did, by the way, send this to all of you via email at noon today. So I assumed everyone had a copy of my statement. If you don't, I'll make sure that you do tomorrow. What is the best way for me to get that to you, Mr. Barber?
Through email.
It's through our town council websites. I don't recall seeing it.
I didn't get it.
I
didn't
did
get it
email
either.
it to you because it's at the email site, the info site, because I understood I had to have that into you before 6 p.m. in order to speak. So I will bring it here if I may, just to make sure everyone gets a
If you would like to
copy.
go on our town website, under the town council, all of our email addresses are listed on that website, so you can see those and send them directly to us individually.
Individually.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I thank you, and I've left you my phone number as well. Be open to calls, questions. I know, Ms. Hicks, you usually have so many thoughtful questions.
You're coming up on your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please provide your email address also to Randy Wingfield so we
Sure.
can get it from him?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone else to address the town? Hearing none, we will close the citizens' comments. We had any committee report activity this week, since the last meeting? Mr. Bishop?
No, sir.
Mr. Showalter?
No.
Ms. Hicks?
We just got those events coming up with the Agency on Aging, so. Is there a way that we can help, it's a nonprofit organization, obviously, and I think we have posted things on our website. Is there anything that we can do to be able to advertise under our account, the town of Christiansburg, like maybe account as far as like the events that are taking place for these
Randy, are you familiar with-
organizations?
Which, do you have a particular event in mind?
Yeah, there is the 2 events that they are doing, trying to get in some money from.
Your value on Agency on Aging?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it's agreeable with council, I don't mind, I guess, having Christina try to push something out via social media.
Okay,
That would be awesome. Thank you,
Sure.
Randy.
thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Ms. Hockett? Mr. Wilson?
No, sir.
Mr. Jenkins? Very
You
good.
got your arts committee tomorrow, right?
Discussion and action by mayor and council. Reappointment of Randy Wingfield as the representative to the Uro Valley Emergency Communication Regional Authority Board of Directors. The term would be from May 10th, 2022 to May 9, 2026.
I make a motion to reappoint Randy to the Uro Valley Emergency Communication.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I kind of want to find out what will happen if, let's first say Randy desires to retire, to step down, or whatever happens. Let's first say tomorrow or, in a year or so. What will happen with, as far as like, will he step down? Will he resign from that position as well as with all the
I
other?
think that's pretty much set out by the resolutions and the authority board for a replacement of, and it would most likely, my estimation with my familiarity with that board is it would be the town manager or succeeding town manager of a municipality rather than an appointed council member, because is that close to the way you understand it?
Well, the bylaws don't specify that it be the town manager, and they don't even necessarily specify that it be a staff person. But I guess that's the case with Montgomery County and with Blacksburg. It's the county administrator and the town manager.
Okay. All right.
And then what about the other positions for these committees?
There's an at-large position, and there's also a Virginia Tech position. the Virginia Tech position's a vice president that's appointed by their board.
Okay.
So you mean the airport?
We're talking about
the 911
the
authority.
emergency
Okay, I'm
communications.
sorry, I'm trying to
That's all
figure
we're
out what
doing
you were
right now.
talking.
Okay.
What did you say was, can you repeat what you just said about Virginia Tech? I couldn't hear anything.
One of the vice presidents serves in the
Oh.
position on the board, and they're appointed by the Virginia Tech board.
Dr. William Knuckle?
No, this is a different board, John.
Oh,
This is a
okay.
separate authority. We have a motion to appoint Randy New River Valley Emergency Services, Emergency Communication Board.
So
We will
I
take the
guess-
next one, we will take the next one down the line. It's a
So I-
separate item.
So I guess the response to that will be, you will step down if that was the case, right?
If council doesn't want me to serve, I wouldn't want to continue.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second.
I think what we did last time, the interim town manager filled that position, right?
Yeah.
When Barry stepped down and you were
Correct.
the interim
Correct.
town manager.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So, Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir. Councilman Bishop. Councilwoman Hicks.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hoppett.
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
I believe that was 6-0. The reappointment of Wayne Nelson as a representative and Dr. William Knock as at-large representative to the New River Valley Water Authority Board of Directors. Terms will be July 1, 2022 to June 30, 2026.
I make a motion to pass the reappointment of Wayne Nelson and Dr. William Knock to the New River Valley Water Authority Board of Directors.
Thank you. Is there
Second.
a motion and a second? Any discussions?
I guess the same question will apply for this. So let's first say Wayne Nelson does work with us right now. And please don't take this personal, Wayne. You work right now with the town, and obviously I'm more than sure that you bring us back information after each of these meetings. And the chances that you do decide to retire again, or maybe whatever happens, you know, hopefully not. You are a good employee, it seems like. But what will happen at that point where you, because I know you quit for a little while, during that time, were you still part of the, were you still going to the meetings? Were you still reporting to us, or how did that take place?
Well, Wayne, you're still retired, right?
I am, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Semi.
Still retired.
Semi-retired.
I waited out my period. I had to be unemployed, but then after talking with Randy, there was a position for me, and that's where my heart lies.
You're a part-time hourly employee now, huh?
Yes, sir.
Pretty much
yes,
so.
sir. And
But you were still part of the board before, and then during the time that you quit, were you still going to the meetings?
Retired.
yes, ma'am.
Retired.
He retired, he didn't.
All right,
I
so you
retired.
did still go.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
let's,
We kept him on.
okay.
Yes, sir. I
He
was
was
still
reappointed by council.
still appointed, still a member. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Very
all
good.
right. Okay, thank
So,
you
so I would
And I-
imagine in the case of any of a vacancy of either our representative or the at-large representative, then we would at some point, based on the bylaws and the resolutions of the water authority, would seek proper replacements. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
I'm sure Wayne would give us adequate notice on that.
Oh, yeah. I think
I
so.
would, sir.
Unless-
I would.
Wayne, the only thing I would just ask is if you could, your write-ups and Randy, your monthly meetings, if you could provide those to Randy so he can put them in his manager reports. Not asking for anything way too detailed where we get lost in it, but just, it would be nice to know what was discussed at the Water Authority
Yes, sir.
and what's happening, because, I mean, if anybody's familiar with the, is it the $30 million improvement or 50 million? It's 30 million, right?
I'm preparing a presentation for you in the near future. And
Okay,
Uh,
well, I
we-
still would like those monthly updates, but the one thing
Certainly.
that concerned me was, we needed this improvement to the Water Authority probably 20, 30 years ago, right? Maybe even longer than that.
Maybe 50. I'm not
Yeah. And it seemed like
we've got
we
the value out of it.
it was what, we waited till the last minute, and then you had to So it's always good to get updates on what the authority's doing, any improvements they're doing. And
Yes.
if you could just provide those and continue to do your annual, when you come in here and
Yes,
let
sir.
us know what's happened over the past year.
Be happy to do that.
How
Okay.
long are those meetings typically, just out of curiosity?
It lasts for an hour or up to 2, typically.
Thank you, sir.
All right, very good. So I have, thank you, Wayne. Any other
Appreciate your
questions for
service.
Wayne?
Oh, you're so welcome.
I just
Thank you.
appreciate his service
And
with.
may I say that Dr. Naki offers his apologies. He had a schedule conflict and couldn't be here, but, excuse me, he does plan to come before you in the near future.
Maybe you all could come together when you do your presentation.
I think that
There
might
you
be
go.
he's a great chairman.
Very good.
We're blessed to have him in this valley.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Bishop, Councilwoman Hicks,
Hi.
Councilwoman Hockett,
Aye.
Councilman Jenkins,
Aye.
Councilman Showalter,
Aye.
Councilman Wilson.
Aye.
That's 6-0, thank you. I think this is just a reminder, this discussion of meeting topics from Montgomery County Board of Supervisors. I think at our last meeting, we thought that it would be best if everyone would send their ideas of that topic to Mr. Wingfield, and he would assimilate them before we could have another meeting and talk about it. Is that what this is, mainly the reminder that, how many have you gotten any so far?
I have, and I actually have gotten, I guess, a few more comments from Mr. Showalter to include the park and also the Valley to Valley Trails project.
Okay.
I do, I guess, need to let the county know, I guess, let the county know of our interest, but like I say, I do need to get them topics and basically an agenda.
So if you have anything, if you'd email it to Randy, and we'll have a big session on it at some point. Right? Thank you. Town manager reports.
Just in regards to the Blacksburg Transit, I will mention they are having staffing issues, in particular with drivers and mechanics. So that they definitely are having hiring issues. They plan on addressing it with pay increases, is basically what I'm told. That they are looking at that right now. So.
Okay.
Randy, do you know what the pay rate is right now? Because I know it's pretty low comparison to everybody else.
It is low compared to Radford. I think they're going to go to, I believe it's $19 an hour.
Yeah, but what is it now?
Right now, I think it's probably around 14 or 15. So I think about 15.
Bradford just went with a new contractor for their
But I think
transit, so I'm
they're still
curious to
trying to match that contractor.
see. Okay.
Okay.
Randy, do you happen to remember what was the amount of money that we are paying? I think in our budget, wasn't it like 500,000 for transportation this year?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head.
It is over 500,000, I can't remember.
And that's more than we've provided in previous years. They've had some grants and some things
It's a
like
lot
that.
more.
Yeah.
Did
I
I
got
lady?
a break
Almost
over the
double.
last couple
Yes.
of years because of the CARES Act funding that they got, but, they still had issues with getting buses around and staffing.
But we did have some grants during the pandemic, right? And they went straight to Blacksburg Transit, right?
We did get some grants during the pandemic, and to be honest, roughly half the transit service is funded with grants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I think, but I don't think even the town of Blacksburg has to pay much money into it, right? What is the amount of money that Blacksburg Transit pays into it? I mean, Blacksburg
They
town.
actually don't pay into it. Virginia Tech pays through the student activity fees.
Transportation fee.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What else,
Thank you.
Randy?
I'll just, I guess, also mention a couple other possibilities as far as ridership. If you are having trouble with one of the routes at a particular time with the current service, you could schedule potentially the Go Anywhere service, although again, I guess if they're having driver difficulties, you'd have difficulties there. Also, if it's mentioned, if somebody's disabled, I believe there might be service through some of the other providers in the area.
Okay.
She does have my card, and I'll reach out to her in regards to that potential.
Randy, if they don't provide those services back to us, do we get money back from Blacksburg Transit?
If they aren't paying out the money, then we wouldn't basically be responsible for funding it. So
there is
correct.
really not a contract that we have as far
If
as,
there's a reduction in service, then there would be a cost savings, I guess, associated with it in their budget, and our budget too.
okay.
All right, very good. Next,
In regards to the boundary adjustment, Montgomery County, I guess, on Houchins Road, we have the request from the property owner to schedule a public hearing, if council's agreeable to that. So basically see your feelings about that, and if you're agreeable, I'll speak to Montgomery County. We'd probably be looking at a public hearing on June 28th if you are agreeable. But,
okay.
and that's at council's discretion.
I don't think so. Not in my part.
I don't, I mean, it's a small 3.3 acre parcel down behind that restaurant down across from Sheets. Back in that area, it's not with what they just
Yeah, behind
took
the Sheets
into.
that's under construction.
Okay. I don't think it hurts to hear it.
I don't disagree that, I don't think it's anything wrong with hearing. It's a public hearing. We're not making a decision tonight.
Okay.
Other than the public hearing, correct?
To hear the whole plan for it, yeah.
Let's at least give them a shot to present.
Okay, and that's, of course, assuming the county would be agreeable too. Of course, they would have to agree as well.
So we'll set it tentatively for the 22nd of June?
It'd be, the 28th would be the second
28th
meeting
of
in
June, if the county's
And-
agreeable.
Yes, and I think that's probably the earliest we could have it. But
Okay.
yes,
Very good.
So,
because we will need to have an
You'll
agreement.
proceed
with
and
them.
talk to the county and
Yes, and
gauge their interest.
If the county is agreeable, we'll come up with an agreement and bring that back to you for a public hearing.
Okay, very good.
so in reality, anybody can ask for an adjustment right now?
If
Just to
you
be
if you
part of
join
the
if you
county
if
instead
you
of being
join
part of the town, so
if
you don't
you
have to
join the
pay the
corporate
taxes.
limits, you could make a request, just like people who would join the corporate limits in the county. If they want to make a request, they could. I'd bring it before town council, like I have with any type of boundary adjustment request. Any boundary adjustment request I've received, I've taken it to town council.
Is there a charge that we have to charge for all this? I mean, it takes some staff work and everything to do this, right?
We haven't really had a fee, although we have required basically survey quality drawings of what they'd like to incorporate into town.
And that's at their expense.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's not public notice, is there public notice posted on the land? You know, like adjoining properties?
Yes, it would require a public hearing, and we would post a sign on the property.
So they would,
We'd
there would be a
have to
fee for
run-
that.
We'd run legal advertisements, yes.
okay, so you need to, they would, I assume they reimburse us for that?
Actually, the town has assumed those fees for
Okay.
that
All right.
historically.
Well, I think if we start doing that, aren't we opening up ourselves to starting to do this for other people? Because if there is not a charge, I mean, anybody can ask for this adjustment.
You can, and to be honest, typically it is incorporating land into town is kind of more common. I guess there the thought is that it's being brought into town, therefore you'll have the benefit of the taxes, it being in town going forward. The only instance that I can think of where we've actually lost land to the county, to unincorporated Montgomery County, is the case of the animal shelter property. Back several years ago, Montgomery County Animal Shelter was basically acquired a piece of property from VDOT that was kind of excess right away from the bypass project, and wanted to use that as part of the animal shelter project. And because of that, they wanted it to develop it completely in the county, so they asked to adjust the boundaries, because the boundary was set at the former limits of the VDOT right-of-way for the bypass project is where it was set at. So
But there was that will be benefiting the town as well as everybody around here in the county, because it will be providing a service to the community. Plus, there was no losing tax revenue from them,
that's
because
correct.
the reality is they
That is
won't be
correct.
paying taxes.
That's correct. They weren't taxable anyhow, so it wasn't really a loss to the town.
But in this case, it will be a tax revenue loss.
What did you say, $460? a year?
Based on the current assessment, it's something like that.
$460
It's
in lost.
$400-some a year.
But there's
Take
a
care.
potential of, like, it can be over $5,000 if it was
It
to going
depends
to be
on what, it
developed.
depends on what is on the property and what's assessed at. Right now, that's the assessment as vacant land.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, just inquire about the possibility, town staff has considered possibility of having the town employee picnic actually on a Wednesday. We were looking at August 10th. The reason being is in the past, we've had, I guess, limited participation, anywhere probably between 25% to a third of our employees attend typically. We think if we did it during town hours, it would increase participation. Of course, the downside would be we would be looking at the possibility of closing town facilities for a few hours during lunch, including possibly town hall and rec center and aquatic center. Would town council be agreeable to that?
I don't.
Obviously,
I am
the
not. I think, I personally feel, in my opinion, I think it's a great idea. In my opinion, it's a fantastic idea. But I don't know how the rest of the town will feel as far as, you know, not being able to use some of the services.
Well, I think if it's properly advertised, if they decide to do this, and I think you're just now looking into it, there's nothing cast in stone, but I think if it's properly advertised and with our signages, and that it would be temporarily closed for a few hours. I'm not 100% for closing all the facilities. I feel like the administration building and possibly a small public works force would need be, just in case of emergency. But that again is up to you all, and it can be with a skeleton crew. I mean, someone here at least to answer the phones, to be able to direct anything, and that's kind of the way I look at it. But that's entirely up to the recommendation that you all come back to with us.
Yeah, can we have more conversations about this, possibly, maybe even?
Oh, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I just have a problem with having at least some type of access to the town, whether it be all the calls are directed into a switchboard so that we can dispatch them out or we can reach whomever. Just so it's not like they're shut off if something happens. And I'm sure police is covered under these type things, but it's things to work on. Get back to us pretty quick, see what you think.
Is there a possibility that maybe having a holiday that maybe we are not closed for? Is that a possibility, or maybe something like that instead of using? Because I think typically, like, I pay taxes, I pay my bills and everything else, and if I'm a person that has to go to her job all the time, every day, and then I'm coming over here to pay a bill or something like that, I'll probably be like, oh, it's Wednesday afternoon, and then typically, what I don't want is people to be negative towards us, thinking it's only one day, but you know how people are. They may think that we're going to be closing a lot more times during the year.
Good Friday or Columbus Day would probably be the two most obvious days that I could think of that are holidays that the town doesn't take as holidays.
Columbus Day sounds like good to me.
Okay. All right. Come back with us with a recommendation, please. Is that it?
Just mention I'll plan on having a presentation in regards to Sunset Cemetery at the next council meeting.
Okay.
And have interest from Wing in regards to a public delivery zone. If town council's open to that, I'll bring that before you.
I'm super excited. Is this the one that is talked about at the rec center?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Next.
That's it.
Mr. Emmett. Mr. Braun. Any other staff that has anything to bring? Under council reports, I will remind everyone that scheduled for Saturday evening is the first edition of Rockin' Main Street. I'm not sure there's a lot of, I'm not sure how the weather's going to be. I'm sure that we'll get around that. There will be two Juneteenth celebrations this year. The first one will be by the NAACP at Rosa Peters Playground in the morning. And then I think Christiansburg Institute has applied for a grant to have the one at their facility again in the afternoon. So,
Do you say a grant?
won't stage it. They've requested.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Help. Okay. It's pretty.
Are they doing a grant application?
They have, and it's been approved.
Okay.
Mr. Showalter.
No, additional other staff? What do you mean?
Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Oh, anything else come before council?
No. We're still doing council reports.
Yeah, I have nothing. I got something come before council.
Mr. Bishop.
I don't have anything.
Ms. Hicks.
Yeah, I'd really like to see in the budget, the bathroom for downtown park, please.
Okay. I think we determined that's a capital improvement that project would have to come out of the recommendation of the rec department. And I think if memory serves me correctly, and Henry, I pass this on to you if y'all have discussed it, but I think that's going to be a rather large project, larger so than we think. But I'd like to have, before we consider putting it in, and it may be that we can, and we can put it in, if we think we can get it, we can do a budget amendment if it's deemed. But I think there's a lot of expense in putting that thing in.
I talked to Brian Epperly, and he said he had put it in the budget and stuff like that, but for some
I think
reason
he told
they
us
were
he did
discussing
not
about other
recommend it.
things.
I think in the budget session, he said it was not recommended. So we'll go from there. We'll go back and look.
Will you, go ahead.
So,
Well, why don't we get an estimated cost? If we need to do a budget amendment in July or August, we can do that as a council.
Because I know Tim and Tanya also said something about it.
Okay.
I
Well,
mean, that would be 4 council members.
we're not taking a vote on it tonight, Ms. Hicks,
I
but,
know,
but I would
I'm just
really
saying
think that what you're going to see, I can't remember the figures on the similar bathroom down at
80,000.
Depot. I think that you're going to see possibly quite a significant increase with water and plumbing and sewer and getting a lot leveled and things like that. But I would like to ask that you go ahead and let's get a figure, a realistic figure on what it would take to build that bathroom. I agree it needs one down there, but we just need to make sure where and how
We
it's
did
going.
have issue with the other bathroom that we purchased with the CARES Act money. We were going to put it there, but basically the location we wanted to put it, we wouldn't be able to get a crane in to put it up in that area.
Okay.
So we do feel we'd have to stick build it in the location we want to put it.
And run water and sewer and things that aren't there
yes, we
now.
would. We're looking at an area up by the picnic shelter, so we would have to run water and sewer up the hill. And like I say, we're looking at stick building, which would make it cost a fair amount more because we couldn't bring in a prefab building.
Okay.
And that's what I recall from the last time. They said that they couldn't have them built fast enough because the other ones were pre-made already. So with the stick building or whatever, maybe Jim or whatever, you guys can talk this week and figure out what they cost. But my understanding from what I remembered, maybe I heard incorrectly, but I thought it was around 80 grand.
Okay, very good. Ms. Hott,
Nothing to report.
Mr. Wilson,
No, sir.
Mr. Jenkins.
No, sir.
Very good. Is there anything else to come before council?
I do. I have an additional question for Randy. For the Board of Supervisors meeting, if we have one, is to discuss a fair playing field across the board for Montgomery County and Christiansburg for the EMTs, instead of us, going to a bidding war. It would be nice, since we answer a lot of calls in the county, and if they keep going up and we keep going up and people switching, it's sort of disheartening, at least from what I've heard about it. And I don't think we're on the same page with this.
I don't think, I talked to Chief Hanks recently, and he said that we did not lose anyone out of our existing staff to them at this point.
I understand, but my concern is, what if they all of a sudden increase theirs at their next meeting?
Well, that is a fair discussion.
And they come back to us, Chief Hanks, we're going to lose people again. It'd be nice, since we're all county residents, to have an equal playing field so it doesn't get out of hand.
I do know, I guess good enough news, they do have staff positions for some of the positions they were looking to hire at Shawsville and Reiner. So they have been able to hire people for those positions, and it has taken a little bit of load off of us as well. But to be honest, the managers have actually mentioned the fact that we probably need to coordinate basically similar job descriptions that we try to need to match a little bit closer.
Yeah, and the pay scale.
And not just EMTs, but across the board, public works positions, secretary, clerical, things that are very comparable. Just make sure we have comparable salaries.
Right. These are essential services. I mean,
exactly.
that, police, fire, and the minute we start having competition with each other, it's good for the employee. It's not good for the town residents, in my opinion.
The other thing that I would bring forward is there a feeling that we need to have another budget work session, or are we pretty good to go to look at it at the May 24th meeting?
I would like to see one more, if that's okay.
Mr. Wilson?
I'm indifferent.
I'm not against us having a work session. So if any council member feels like we need to have one, I'm fine to have it, but I do feel pretty comfortable with where we're at on the budget.
Mr. Bishop?
I feel comfortable where we at.
Mr. Showalter?
I'm fine. If we need to add something, we can do a budget amendment.
Okay. Mr.
I don't think it's necessary at this point.
Okay, very good. So we'll be ready to roll on.
Can I ask one more question? Does the county pay for, how much does the county support or give to Blacksburg Transit for transportation services?
Don't think they pay anything.
I don't think so. Don't know.
There
Okay.
is another one.
Is there
Can
any?
you add that for the conversation with the county possibly? Is that something that you guys think that should be a part of the
Randy, if
conversation?
you will list that, we'll put it all together and we'll run it over the treadmill and see what we come up with.
That's over half of $1 million into a service that we are also paying taxes into.
But I don't believe it runs within the county. That's the problem with BT. I don't think it goes out.
We are part of the county.
You're splitting hairs, but yeah.
It's legit. I mean, it's a good question. Because we all are county residents. I don't know, but I do have one more thing.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to bring it up for discussion. I know there's been some emails, Tim, with the solar farms and things like that. Randy, do we have any comprehensive sustainability plan for the town?
No, we really don't. Formal plan, we really don't.
Okay. And it's up to council. I know it's something we're not going to handle here tonight, or probably not the next two meetings, but I would like us to jump into a formal coordinated plan. I mean, instead of piecemealing, there's a whole lot to this.
Yeah, I concur completely.
I agree with that too.
All right.
Very good. So let's put it on the burner. Henry, remind me in a week or two, next meeting, about it, and I'll see about getting a group together for this.
And your manager review in 2 weeks, could you give us some options on that?
Sure.
On how
I know that you are.
with it?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm done.
I know that you have been in discussion with Dominion, and you're going to talk to AEP on the possibilities of some solar projects within the town.
Virginia Tech does have a contract themselves for solar installation out there. Also, we have a couple of, private solar providers in the area too, Baseline Solutions and Solar Connections, that I'm going to speak to.
So there's, okay. Anything else to come before council? We are adjourned. Thank you.